Montebello bid rejected. The Sense owner and Devcore Group CEO's offer to buy Fairmont Chateau Montebello gets turned down, but still no disclosure on the winning bid. Good afternoon. This is CTV News at 5. I'm Stefan Keys. A group of local investors, that includes the owner of the Sense and the Devcore Group CEO, say their bid to buy Fairmont Chateau Montebello was unsuccessful and that the news was delivered in a two-line letter. CTV's Josh Morano is here with the latest. Josh.
Well, Stefan, the group says its proposal focused on long-term investments and keeping strong local ties to the landmark resort. But after a long negotiation process, another offer was selected. The team included Ottawa Senators owner Michael Andlauer, Devcore CEO Jean-Pierre Poulin, Spa Nordique co-owner Martin Paquette, and partners from Elevate Real Estate Properties. Their proposal called for up to $150 million in upgrades to the historic hotel. On Friday, the group received notice from the court-appointed receiver that its bid had not been chosen. Poulin says while the outcome is disappointing, he believes the successful buyer has significant experience operating hotels.
We're not sure 100%, but we believe that the winner is a very respected hotelier. They have 500 plus hotels in the world, and I'm sure they're going to run the hotel in the proper way. We are a group of developer, promoter, and builder, so we would have redeveloped the entire site. That might be the difference between both bids.
Poulin says they were in the final 2 to 3 offers, which were separated by a relatively small amount. He believes the final decision ultimately came down to price. The identity of the successful bidder has not yet been made public. The sale must still receive court approval before it can be finalized. Stefan.
CTV's Josh Morano reporting live. Thank you, Josh. We now have a better idea of when the province will step in to help Canada Day flood victims. In an update today, the mayor says the disaster funding should be triggered this week. CTV's Leah Larocque joins us live with more. Leah.
Well, Stefan, city officials stressed today that what happened on Canada Day was a 1 in 200-year storm, very impacting so many residents. And at last count, there were 6,000 reports of flooded basements. But the province still hasn't committed any financial aid, nor has the premier been here on the ground. But in an update, we did learn that there is no firm commitment from the province or timeline. The Minister of Emergency Preparedness and Response says she has spoken with the mayor and are working through the next steps in the disaster relief program. The mayor says it should be launched this week, but some councillors say the city could have done more.
The Premier of Ontario had called me at midnight on July the 1st and said the program is now active. Nobody would have applied between July the 1st and now for the program anyway, because you cannot apply until after you have gone through the process with your insurance company.
Then the city of Ottawa could have done better to initiate with the Red Cross, with the Good Samaritan's Purse, with Ontario Corps, with all of those on-the-ground boot supports.
Homeowners who are eligible can apply for provincial help once the program has been activated and could get up to $250,000, as well as some small businesses. Now, the city says that all other resources have been deployed to for impacted residents. And on Wednesday, during the council meeting, the mayor will be putting forth motions to help residents, including waiving building permit fees. Stefan.
CTV's Leah Larocque reporting live for us. Thank you, Leah. A child is dead after being pulled from the Blanche River in Gatineau. Police say it happened around 1 p.m. on Saturday. The 911 call was for a person in distress. When they arrived, they located a 7-year-old who needed to be rescued from the river, but the child was pronounced dead in hospital. Turning to new developments in a deadly crash that took place in the Barrhaven area back in May. We've learned a man in his 40s has now been charged in the crash that claimed the life of a 29-year-old woman. The incident happened on May 11th at around 7:20 p.m. Officers were called to Fallowfield Road and Via Park Place for a collision involving one vehicle and a pedestrian. The 29-year-old woman died of her injuries several days later. Police say the man in his 40s is being charged with careless driving causing death. In Almont, the Naismith pub is asking for help to identify a costumed thief caught on camera taking kegs from the pub's property. We should have that video for you shortly.
Caught a furry critter. He had a mask on and gloves, I think, and a furry suit on with a tail, and a closer look, it looked like a coyote or raccoon or something like that. And he took 4 kegs.
The pub posted this video to their social media showing someone dressed in an animal costume opening a box with empty kegs. The person then took 4 kegs out before picking them up and walking off with them. The pub says as much as they got a laugh out of the video, they'd like their kegs back. They are asking anyone who spots the containers to let them know. The intense heat from a backyard shed on fire was enough to blow out windows last night. Firefighters were called to a home on Fireside Crescent in the Greenboro area around 8:35 p.m. yesterday. The crew had it under control within minutes, but the heat was enough to break 2 windows of the home nearby. Flames also damaged trees, fences, and patio furniture. The Ottawa Fire Services spokesperson says the cause is unknown. Fashion mogul Peter Nygaard is set to face sexual assault and forcible confinement charges in Montreal today. The 84-year-old has denied allegations that he used his position to lure women and girls. Prosecutors in Quebec charged Nygaard with 1 count of sexual assault and 1 count of forcible confinement in 2022 in connection with alleged incidents in 1997 and 1998. The case is separate from Nygaard's conviction in Toronto, where he was found guilty of 4 counts of sexual assault in 2023 and sentenced to 11 years in prison. There are no World Cup games today, but the upcoming semifinals feature the tournament's top teams. France, Spain, England, and Argentina, the 4 top-ranked teams in the world, will be competing for soccer's biggest prize. All the teams have won a World Cup before, and the last time the Final Four was made up entirely of previous winners was 1990. France and Spain will face off tomorrow afternoon in Dallas. England and Argentina will battle on Wednesday. Meanwhile, FIFA President Gianni Infantino says international soccer's governing body will discuss expanding the World Cup to 64 teams after the 2026 tournament. This year's World Cup is the first to feature 48 teams, up from 32. The next tournament, to be held in 2030, will be co-hosted by Morocco, Portugal, and Spain. The 2034 World Cup is set to be held in Saudi Arabia. And we will have live FIFA coverage tomorrow on CTV. We'll see you again at 5 p.m. on Thursday. You can keep up to date with us anytime at ctvnewsottawa.ca and the CTV News app.
It's devastating. I'm heartbroken. I worked so hard at building that family and building that place where people feel safe.
Coming up on CTV News at 5, going off script with Christy Cameron about disaster relief as flood victims express fatigue. And Jackie Pears is here with the first look at the forecast. Jackie.
Well, thanks so much, Stefan. Yes, we are hanging outside here for your weather outlook on the Capitol Barbecue patio. If you're heading outside or spending time outdoors, make sure you find ways to beat the heat. Yes, it's quite warm here in the Capitol and really for all of Eastern Ontario. The good news is we have mainly clear skies. Right now, though, temperatures feeling more like 35 in the Capitol when you factor in the humidity. About 27 degrees along the Seaway, but 33 with the humidex levels. The heat will continue into tomorrow, Tuesday, being the hottest day that we will see this week. 7 a.m. it will already feel like 33. By the time 4 p.m. rolls around, it will feel closer to 45. And yes, there is a chance of some thunderstorm risk in the late evening. We'll have those details for you and more in just a bit. Stefan.
Thanks, Jackie. Here's what you need to know. The stages are quiet at Ottawa Blues Fest tonight and tomorrow, but the music returns on Wednesday with Conan Gray headlining at 9:30 p.m. Now here's a live check on traffic. It is heavy between Bronson and Woodruff in the westbound lanes. There has been a collision at Woodruff, so be on the lookout for that, slowing things down. Eastbound is slow from Maitland to Parkdale, and again from St. Laurent to Ennis. Returning to one of our top stories, flooding victims say they are fatigued by the cleanup and dealing with insurance companies while they plead for government help. Today, we learned the province is still finalizing the request for disaster relief. And CFRA's Christy Cameron is here now to help us take that topic off script. Christy.
It's been 12 days since the floods in Ottawa, and I think a lot of people, homeowners, business owners that could use some help, are wondering, what is the province waiting for? We heard over the weekend, this has been called a 1 in 200 year event. It was widespread across the city. For example, in Britannia, 167 millimeters of rain fell in just over 5 hours. That is an absurd amount of rain. Almost 6,000 homes were impacted. So I think a lot of residents right now just want to feel seen. They want to feel heard. Some are telling me on the show they feel abandoned. I had Bay Ward City Councillor Teresa Kavanagh on the show earlier. She has been very critical of the province on their response. She's asking, like a lot of people, where is the disaster relief? Here's what she said.
I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted of even complaining about it. It should be obvious. And I made that comment about come out and see the big pile of garbage. There's still piles out there.
And, you know, for Councillor Kavanagh, this is also personal for her because she's a flood victim herself. So she's speaking on behalf of herself and the people in her ward.
The west end of Ottawa was hit particularly hard. Also, Lane Johnson, who represents College Ward, she's been cleaning out a flooded basement. Sean Devine, Knoxdale, Maryville. I'll just put it out there. I've been transparent about this. We've been dealing with a basement flood. But I feel very fortunate in our household, Steph, because we didn't lose the furnace. We didn't lose the AC. We are able-bodied. We're not seniors. We were able to rip things up, and I just feel for the people who are still out there this evening who haven't been able to do all of that work. It's just really difficult, which is why, in part, we need some assistance from the province.
Certainly. I think about that apartment building on McEwen, too. They were just gone and out. Thank you for this, Christy. You can join the conversation and leave a comment through the Talkback feature on the iHeartRadio app. You can listen live to Christy Cameron on News Talk 580 CFRA weekdays from 2 to 6. And now watch Christy's segments anytime on YouTube. Subscribe to the News Talk 580 CFRA channel.
Dreams, financial planning, richness, wealth. It doesn't mean anything if we have an illness.
Coming up on CTV News at 5, On the Run for the Ottawa Hospital. We'll tell you more about this man's fundraising mission in just a few minutes. Here's what else you need to know. It's Broadway Nights at the Manor Lounge on Elgin tonight. They'll feature screening and sing-along of the musical Hamilton. It's a fundraiser as well, supporting kids up front. That's on at 7 o'clock tonight. Entry is $20. We'll be right back. Coming up later tonight on CTV after the news, E-Talk starts at 7, The Big Bang Theory at 7:30, The Quiz with Balls at 8, and American Ninja Warrior at 9. Now for another check on the weather forecast, let's head back outside to Jackie, Jackie, I hear there's a heat warning in place.
Yes, that is true, Stefan. The heat warning is in place now until, it's supposed to be in place until Friday, with Tuesday being the hottest. So here's a live look through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam. Yes, you can see that it is very sunny out there. 30 degrees is the current temperature for downtown Ottawa, but with those humidity levels, it's feeling closer to 36. You did mention it, Stefan, a heat warning is in effect for not just here in Eastern Ontario, but for pretty much all of the province and parts of Western Quebec. That means that for some areas, you can see max temperatures up to 37 degrees with humidex values that will feel closer to 47. And this again is mentioning Tuesday is going to be the hottest day of the week. Overnight temperatures, you're going to start to feel that already. 21 is going to be our low. It will feel closer to 27 with those southerly winds moving in. Tomorrow with 35 degrees, the daytime high will feel closer to about 45, and at times it could feel like 47. You'll pay attention to the winds in the afternoon, wind gusts between 30 to 50 kilometers per hour. That's because we are anticipating a potential thunderstorm that will roll in, and this will likely be rolling in the later part of our evening. This is Monday, 7 p.m. There could be spots of rain, especially around near Cornwall. It should clear out, but by 7 a.m. tomorrow morning, you'll see a mix of the sun and cloud rolling in. A little bit of sunshine moving through, but by 6 p.m. to 9 p.m., that's when we could likely see some heavy rain, potential thunderstorm risk moving into the Ottawa area. It will clear by midnight, but again, we are anticipating hot, humid air as well as at the risk of thunderstorms. 34 for sunshine for the valley for tomorrow, and in the Seaway, very similar conditions, 35 and sunshine. Again, temperatures and humidity levels will feel closer to the 40s. Tuesday, 35, the anticipated daytime high. It won't be until Friday that 26 will get back to seasonal conditions. So lots of hot, humid air for the next several days.
Weather is brought to you by Manotick Tree. Complete tree care from start to stump.
An Ottawa area man has set an aspiring goal of running 100 kilometers in one day to raise $100,000 for the Ottawa Hospital. It is a personal mission for Mathieu Chatelain to say thank you and fundraise for the place that kept his family together. Here's CTV's Leah Larocque.
Most runners count their kilometers. Mathieu Chatelain is counting towards 100.
I'm going to run 100 kilometers under 12 hours to raise $100,000.
The goal began with a deeply personal connection to the hospital that cared for his own family.
It's to bring another parent back to their families, like the Ottawa Hospital did for me when I was 8 years old.
The turning point came during a hospital foundation breakfast, where Chatelain unexpectedly found himself sitting beside the surgeon who had operated on his father 3 decades earlier.
So I called Papa. I said, Dad, who operated on you? And he said it was Dr. Schramm. I looked at the gentleman next to me. On his badge, it was written Dr. Schramm.
A chance encounter turned inspirational.
It's at this moment that I realized that without the Ottawa Hospital, none of my special moments with my dad would exist. None of the car rides to hockey, none of the support in business, none of the big conversation. The Ottawa Hospital brought him back to me.
Mathieu says he's going to pick a day in September to do his 100-kilometer run when the weather and conditions are good. And he won't be doing it alone. He'll have pacers with him the entire way, all of them taking shifts of 10K each. The Rockland father of four's mission coming at a time when the hospital's largest fundraising campaign reaches a new milestone.
We are at $404 million out of our $500 million goal for the campaign to create tomorrow. And, you know, this campaign is helping to build the largest healthcare infrastructure project in our region's history. We've seen multi-million-dollar donations. We've seen $100 donations.
Training for this ultra marathon isn't easy.
Tomorrow morning, I'm going to wake up at 3 a.m., have a bit of food, and put my shoes on at 4 and go run 32K.
But for Chatelain, every stride about something much bigger than endurance.
Without his mentorship, I don't know where I'd be. I wouldn't have the family I have. So thank you, Ottawa Hospital, for bringing my dad back.
Leah Larocque, CTV News.
Beautiful story. We want to hear your stories of people doing good, spreading joy, making a difference, or marking a notable achievement. We'll be showcasing stories that touch our hearts and make us proud of our city, Simply Ottawa. You can send your story ideas to ottawanews@ctv.ca.
The space can be their home away from home.
Still ahead on CTV News at 5, a big milestone from Ronald McDonald House means big changes for families who need it most. Up next, what's opening its doors and why it matters. Here's another live check on traffic. We're hearing things are still backed up between Bronson and Woodruff. That is in the westbound lanes, the busiest stretch of the Queensway right now. There had been a collision at Woodruff in the westbound lanes, and so that's helping to slow things down. We'll be right back.
Get the latest live local breaking news. Sign up now for our morning and evening CTV News Ottawa newsletter. The best local content from CTV News, Your Morning Ottawa, and News Talk 580 CFRA. Get it all in one place. Sign up now at ctvnewsottawa.ca. The CTV News Ottawa newsletter is brought to you in part by CAA Business.
Here's a live look through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam. The temperature right now, 30 degrees. And here's what we're working on for 6 o'clock.
And the city of Ottawa could have done better.
Flood victims get an update from the city, but they're still on standby for disaster relief as the province finalizes the request.
We're not sure 100%, but we believe that the winner is a very respected hotelier.
A winning bid has been selected for Chateau Montebello, and so far all we know is that it isn't the local group that included Sen's owner Michael Anlauer.
On the really hot days, I'll go through at least one of these, if not multiple.
Another heat wave settles in over the capital with the possibility of record-breaking temperatures on Tuesday. We check in to see how those around Ottawa are managing this stifling summer. Now, the final 5 other stories we're following today. A new survey from accounting firm M&P finds most Ontarians are caught in a pre-spent paycheck cycle, meaning much of their income is already spoken for. 63% of respondents say at least half their pay is already committed to bills, debt payments, and regular expenses before it arrives. The survey also found that 34% of people are cutting back on expenses like personal care, clothing, and kids' activities to get by. Meanwhile, 22% say they are canceling plans or avoiding making them altogether. The Bank of Canada is expected to leave its benchmark interest rate unchanged for a 6th consecutive time on Wednesday. That's despite renewed violence in the Middle East threatening to reignite inflation. The annual inflation rate in May topped 3% for the first time since late 2023 as the war between the U.S., Israel, and Iran pushed gas prices higher. Doctors are being urged to watch more closely for anaplasmosis as tick-borne illnesses spread across eastern Canada. Researchers say the infection, which can be caused by the same black-legged ticks which spread Lyme disease, can cause serious complications if left untreated. A newly published study shows an Ontario man made a full recovery after being treated with antibiotics. Health officials say the number of infections has been rising because of growing tick populations in Ontario, Quebec, and Nova Scotia.
This space can be their home away from home. Hopefully gives them some hope and comfort and the courage and strength to continue on.
The Ronald McDonald House has gotten a major expansion to help families that come from far away while their child is being treated at CHEO. The new addition has doubled room capacity to 36 rooms. It also has new family-friendly amenities like games and movie rooms and a new extended kitchen and dining area. The $26 million expansion is expected to help support 13,000 families each year and has ended the foundation's wait list. The first weekend of Blues Fest wrapping up with the Lumineers headlining at LeBreton Flats last night. Blues Fest will take a break for a couple of days but returns on Wednesday. Conan Gray, Miles Smith, and Natasha Bedingfield are all set to perform on the main stage. That is CTV News at 5. I'm Stefan Keys. Be sure to join us for CTV News at 6.